Hi, welcome. It is war time, but I thought I'll do a monthly review because it's the end of March now. And the war started right at the end of February. So, in 1 month, how has the war impacted? What has happened? I thought I'll do a quick summary of that. So, if you see, then what is the summary for the month? If you look at it since the war started, is that FIS have sold about 1,22,000 crores worth of stocks net, and DIS about 1,44,000 crores, so almost 1.2 times or one something roughly what the FIS sold they bought. The market, why did it correct when you matched the buying? Well, the reasons for that are, first of all, is that DIS don't immediately buy when the FIS sell. The FIS put a sell order, they stay wait. And if I put a sell order at a lower level, they wait. When you come to a much lower, then they go and buy. So they buy also. They tell the brokers, if it comes to this down price, then you buy. So clearly, DIs are trying to protect themselves, portfolios of the investors also, by buying after the correction. So net correction happens despite the DI buying. That's number one. Number two is that when the DIs are buying 1,44,000 crores, they don't get that much money a month. It's only 30,000 crores of SIP book plus some lump sum. So what they're doing, they have to do sector rotation. So the money that they get, they book profit in some sectors and buy some sectors. Now, depending on which sectors is heavy weighted in the index and all that, that gets affected. The third thing, of course, is that DIS, when they buy, they have to buy across large, mid, and small because people's money comes that way to them. Whereas FIs sell largely the large caps and the larger mid caps. So, because of that, not all that 1,44 is available to buy everything that the FIs sold. So, that's why if you see the 1 month performance, if you see, actually small caps have done the best by falling only 8.5%. Mid caps have dropped 9.5%, and large caps have dropped 10.5%. So partly this explains. And now when you look at the sectoral performances, I want to point out before going to the sectors what has actually happened apart from this. So what has happened is that there's been a flight to safety to the dollar. Because of the flight to safety to the dollar DXY is touched 100, so there's pressure on the rupee. That's number one. Number two is the fact is that uh, banks have been selling uh, rupees and buying dollars. They're going long dollar because they thought the same, that the oil price comes in, it'll go, so buy. RBI has got hold of that and said this itself has contributed to the rupee weakening. So as you know, the rupee has now touched 95 today and ended at about 94.88, I think. So the impact of this, the RBI was forced on Friday to tell the banks that you have to limit your open positions on dollar to only 100 million. So banks have excess in huge of that excess. Of course, mostly foreign banks have lots, but even Indian private sector banks and some public. So because of this, when they do selling it off by April 10th, they have to rectify because RBI wants to use this to stabilize the rupee. Naturally, the bank's profits and all will be coming down. So it's an impact on the immediate EPS of the bank. That's the second reason banks have suffered. The third reason is that because of this flight to the dollar, US interest rates have been rising, and hence Indian interest rates also have been rising, the government's security borrowing. So GSEC has touched 7% today from whatever 6.5 levels, it has been gradually going. When that goes up, banks who invest a lot of their surplus monies with the government securities are forced to mark to market. So because of that, they will take a hit of their portfolios in the EPS this month because of the rise in interest rates. So putting all of this together, naturally, the banking sector is the one which has performed the worst in this month. Overall, if you see, compared to both the PSU banks and the private sector banks have fallen the most. So all of this plus one element of profit booking. Because as I told you, DIS, if they want to buy something which the FIs are selling, they are getting only 30,000 crores of SIP book, but they bought 1.44 lakh crores. That means they've tipped into their cash balances. So to raise more cash to buy what they'd like to buy, they have to sell something else where they're in the money. So PSU banks, as you know, had a very good rally. So profit booking in the PSU banks has been happening to bring down the sector's performance, right? The second, with the interest rate rising, the affected is the interest rate sensitive sectors, which is real estate, realty, and auto. So they have been also the worst performers. The third sector which has been the worst performer has been the defense. And defense is clearly case of profit booking, because initially when the war happened, normally people correlate that war means defense will go up, so a lot of retail investors went and bought it. But DIS know that this defense sector has nothing to do with that war. It's a medium-term good story. But far right now, it's also something that has run up. So let me book my profits there and go and buy whatever I want to buy. And then what did they buy? If you look at it, the one which fell the least, because every sector had a bad performance, was the ones which are correlated to a weakening currency, right? Because the currency has weakened, and those are IT and pharma. Those are the ones in there, and metals, because somewhat of commodity price rise is there. That's it. So this summarizes it. And if you look for the way forward, what we have to look at is that the volatility is likely to continue for the next month till the war ends. That's the uncertainty around it. Till the clarity of the war comes, the uncertainty will continue, and hence, from that point of view, right, it's a binary event. This whole situation can only get rectified if the war comes to an end. One hopes and prays, because one has no way of predicting what's going to happen. Every day, a new tweet, a new action, a new response is coming through. So keep your fingers crossed on that. I hope the summary of the month has been helpful. Thank you.